Welcome back to another episode of Azure Reacts. I'm your boy Astro, and today we're getting right back into that slavery. The greatest deception to deceive indigenous minds and make them forget where they come from. Otherwise known as from kings to the most envious. Because sorry, but everyone is envying black people right now, especially black Americans. The envy is real. It is definitely real. And this whole reparations, trying to steal black Americans reparations after we all was the ones who sold us into slavery, fucked up. Look, Africa, or Africans in Africa, y'all don't get to collect the money that we are fucking owed. That goes to us. Y'all can fuck the fuck all the way to off. Y'all don't deserve fucking shit. And let me be perfectly clear when I say this. Y'all deserve absolutely fucking nothing. Especially when it comes to fucking reparations. Y'all sold us into slavery. I know people gonna be all like, oh, I thought you said that you did this. I have two parents, dumbass. So please put it together. And like I just said, y'all deserve absolutely fucking nothing. And I put that on my mom's. Like, absolutely fucking nothing. So quit trying to steal the reparations that are owed to us for y'all fucking selves. It's fucking disgusting as hell. But if you're liking the video, go ahead and drop a like and subscribe. And let's get into this.
Now, I tried to give them 54 countries over there a break, but they just keep coming from my people. So I heard we was jealous. Are we jealous of this? Or is it this clip that we jealous of? Is it this one? Cause I'm not understanding. I thought y'all had more pressing issues, but I guess, you know. You want to play this clip too? So just remember, watch your mouth when you're talking about my people, because I get sensitive about that okay? Bye-bye now.
Africa is not the motherland. The Middle East is not the Holy Land. The Middle Eastern Muslims aren't the real Muslims. They don't represent Islam. The Christians are not the holy people. They don't represent the Most High. And the Jews are not the Jews. They are the synagogue of Satan. Welcome to the cookout. Number one, they try to tell y'all everywhere from everywhere else is so holy, so special, so great. Yet the quote-unquote blacks of America have no culture. Y'all gotta understand, these people really tried to destiny swap with us. And our culture, we are so great, first of all, that it took multiple nations to try to destiny swap with us. Think about it, right? The JEWs tried to take the tribe of Judah from us. Muslims tried to take Islam away from us. Christians tried to take God away from us. Africans tried to take everything away from us, including our entire culture, history, and ancestry. This world tried to leave us with nothing. But I'm gonna tell y'all this real quick. There's more pyramids in America than the rest of the world. So how can the Native Americans be American? They can't be out in the sun building those pyramids. The Africans swear we come from them. But why haven't they built up Africa like we've built up America? We know that the Hebrews were dark people, and we know that the Hebrews come from Israel, and we know that the Muslims or Islam comes from Ishmael. So if Israel was dark, that means Ishmael was dark. So the Hebrews and the Muslims are just cousins or brothers. with the same ancestry. But y'all want to believe it's about the Middle East and kabooms, right?
And this popped up on my FYP, and I just want to say this to the Haitians, bro. Y'all need to let go of that 1804 one-trick pony bullshit when y'all acting like y'all are the fucking black avengers of the fucking black diaspora in the Americas, bro. Like y'all came in mass numbers and saved everybody in what we now call the United States. No, the fuck you didn't. You kicked France out of your fucking country, cultivated what y'all did, and had a revolution in your country, and that's what formed your country. You did not come over here and do that for the United States and form the United States. No, the fuck you didn't, bro. With your 27,000 square kilometers worth of a country versus our 9.8 million square kilometers of what we now call the United States, right? We are already liberating ourselves. We are already self-emancipating ourselves in what we now call the United States in the 1700s before the Haitian Revolution was even happening. So y'all need to stop doing that shit. Whoever the fuck came over here wasn't enough. Y'all were not in mass numbers. Y'all came in, did what y'all did, but our ancestors were already fucking here, living on the southeast of what we now call the United States, forming families, forts, cultivating what they did, and a lot of them were free before Abraham Lincoln did any of that shit. So you need to stop fucking lying about history and stop trying to guilt trip us into fucking respecting you. We don't gotta respect nobody that doesn't earn it. The end. Thank you.
I'm having no question.
What country are you from, sir?
I told y'all they was gonna start deporting black folks. Hold up now. Where is he from? He's a United States citizen. No. Where is he from? Like, where's his mama? His mama's from. Where they from? Where they at? Remember, they was telling you, where you from? No. Where you really from? Where you really from? They don't know where they're from. But we do. Now you don't want to go back to your place of origins. You don't want to go back to your homeland. You want people to fight for you to stay somewhere that you're not really from. And this is what they're going to use. Oh, he was a black person, but no, we're not the same. A lot of black people, black immigrants are born January 1st. I don't know what that is about, but I wasn't born January 1st, and our paperwork looked totally different. Our place of origins, our lineage, our bloodlines is totally different. Not all black people are the same, but where you really from? Where you really from? You want me to fight for you to stay in a place where I don't know where I'm really from, and you know your origins? Yeah, make that make sense.
Tell him why you gave it to him.
I gave that to you because men only get flowers when they pass away once in their life.
Puerto Ricans had nothing to do with hip-hop. They just witnessed the birth of it. Fat Joe finally admits it. He's the first. Puerto Ricans are the first culture vultures of hip-hop. Black American culture.
Me had a Cuban father.
Oh, he didn't understand you at all.
On the table, he definitely looking at. Now he was telling me the plain truth. He's like, "You're not going to make it. Have you seen any Spanish guys make it in this shit? You're done." And I'm from the soil, the Bronx, and my father actually saw hip hop born. He was like, "There's no other Spanish people doing this, Poppy. Like, you have no chance."
This man said he had a Cuban father. That's how I know he was lying the first time. Cubans and Black American culture? I will bow. Spanish rappers still ain't making it. Black artists had to carry Fat Joe his whole life. Fat lies his whole life. How much lies he circulate on social media, but finally he tells the truth. Spanish people had nothing to do with the birth of hip-hop. They just witnessed the birth. They was in a delivery room when it was happening. That's it. And if you really look into New York City around that time, the 60s and 70s, a lot of these communities were segregated, right? Micro segregation. The black and Latino community wasn't really integrated like that anyway. All the Latinos, y'all can stop lying about you participating in hip-hop, the birth of hip-hop. Just cut the cap. Cut the cap like the app. Cut the cap.
They been here the whole time. How the hell they could survive an ice age? You know how cold it was?
Man, like, how many times I gotta tell you counterfeit Africans that y'all don't do research? Like, you should know better than that even had said something as stupid as this, but apparently not. Kind of shows your educational value, but let's move along. We can go ahead and ask AI what they think about what you said. I asked, was the entire Americas covered in ice during the Ice Age? Common sense question. The answer is no. Not all of the Americas were frozen during the Ice Age. During the last glacial maximum, around 20,000 years ago, large parts of North America were covered in massive ice sheets, especially in other fucking areas. However, significant areas remained ice-free. Central America and all of South America were not covered in ice, except for mountain glaciers in the Andes. Much of the southern United States, you know, where your family come from. Yeah. Southwest, southeast remained unclassified. Though they had a colder and drier climate than today, it wasn't the same. Alaska has some blah, 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 blah. Whatever. We ain't worried about that. So while ice sheets covered vast areas, especially in the north, the entirety of the Americas was not frozen. Many regions, particularly tropical and temperate zones, remained ice-free, but a little cooler. This is a scientific map of what was frozen and what was not. Look at those areas. Here's a better breakdown for you so you can actually see the states. South Carolina, that ain't froze. North Carolina, that ain't froze. Virginia, a little colder up there, but nope, not froze. Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, Florida, Arkansas, Louisiana, Texas, none of this is frozen. Ain't these the same locations that your granny come from? See what I'm saying? Honestly, what you did was give an explanation for why so many of our people are actually centralized in the South. Ain't that something? So next time you decide to make a goofy little AI video, just do some research. You could have saved yourself some time. Like, fuck is you talking about? Because all these areas still had people in them. God damn.
It was worse for me. I had a Cuban father.
Oh, he didn't understand you at all.
On the table, that he definitely looking at. Now he was telling me the plain truth. He was like, "You're not going to make it. Have you seen any Spanish guys make it in this shit? You're done." And I'm from the soil, the Bronx, and my father actually saw hip hop born. He was like, "There's no other Spanish people doing this, Papi. Like, you have no chance." And I'm on it. I'm in the kitchen writing on the table. Yeah. But then they become my biggest fans.
Gotcha, fuckface.
To take away that representation, it would really make me, like, that's why I've been doing it this way, to see if she actually gets transparent and takes accountability before we resort to escalating it to that level.
Yeah. So I have a mother here Not letter. These are records, right? Hold on, where we at? This is right here. This is the son of a cacique. We see records where you'll see the word right, blanco, pardo right here. This is what you need to focus on the records when you see these things. Now, mind you, this isn't specific to Gurabo. And you'll see these are villages in Gurabo, in specific Jaguar de donde yo vengo, ¿verdad? Y el año sería 1836. So we have existing records of peoples that eventually, right, they go from one name to the next.
So all of a sudden they were switched.
You know, we get to see this on and off again with the population of Puerto Rico. We see a movement of the identities, right before it was mestizo, mulatto, pardo, moreno, ahora es blanco o negro.
They got relabeled.
Exactly. Everybody got put into two labels, the binaries of the United States, because they started doing that. But yeah, that's what I mean. This is why. Because I don't want it to, like I said, I want accountability and I want transparency. She decided to use that source. So as an influencer and as a quote unquote educator, because she self-proclaims as an educator, I want her to
and the participation of the Jews in the Spanish and Portuguese discoveries by Dr. M. Kaiser Ling. This was written in 1894. Roldan's chief argument in support of his view is the language of the Indians in Hispaniola, Cuba, Jamaica, and the adjoining islands. He contends that it has many resemblances to Hebrew. In fact, he even calls it a corrupted Hebrew. He asserts that such names as Cuba and Haiti are Hebrew, and that they were first applied by the earliest caciques, the chiefs or leaders, Casim. Alright, we're going to see what he means by that, Casim, who discovered and peopled the islands. So again, Casim or cacique, he was saying cacique comes from Casim. What is Casim? How do you say chief in Hebrew? And I was able to find this, which says Casim, right? And you can see the phonetic spelling Casim, Casim, with a K, Casim. In the West Indies and the Spanish countries, the chiefs are called cacique, Casim, cacique, 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 Casim, very similar. Again, it says he asserts that such names of Cuba and Haiti are Hebrew and that they were first applied by the earliest caciques, Casim, the chiefs or leaders, Casim. Casim, again, is Hebrew. Again, Casim means chief or ruler. Same thing as in Arawak language, Taino language, right? Cacique, because cacique is a Taino or Arawak word. So what are the Arawak really speaking, who came from South America, right? And their word for chief, ruler, is the same as Hebrew, Cacique, Cacique, Casim.
Black Americans opened the door for Afro-Latinos to walk into stardom, something they could have never accomplished back home in Latin America. You've seen Telemundo, you've seen Univision. There's just a lack of representation when it comes to black people in Latin America. Let's take Gerald Jerome, the first Afro-Latino to win an acting Emmy, playing a black American person, and he's from the DR, he's Dominican Republic. And not to mention, this was directed by Ava, a black American woman. A goal that he would have never been able to achieve in Latin America, especially the Dominican Republic. Black. I'm still shocked to see a Dominican person playing a black American person, black. But anyways, my man, Laz Alonso, you should have seen the response when he told them, I'm black first. Those Latinos was like, hold up. Black is at the bottom of the pyramid. You sure you want to be called black first? Because that's how it is in Latin America. Black is at the bottom. But yeah, he was like, yeah, I'm black first. Because I know the games y'all play. But anyway, shout out to Laz Alonso. An honorable mention, Black Brits. There's a lack of representation of them in the UK, and they're not willing to fight for it.
American six-finger giant Indian revealed in Utah.
The truth shall be revealed. The deeper you dig, the darker it gets. Mummified indigenous giant. America is Egypt. I'm Nubi One.
Y'all aren't in church, and that makes them nervous. Because, see, you're harder to watch if you're not in there. You're harder to track and control when you're not in there. They can't channel your energy if you're not in there. They want you in there. And now that you're not there, wondering, what are you doing with all this time that you're not using to get reprogrammed? We're trying to teach you how to be peaceable and how to wait for your heaven and your paradise. So if y'all ain't here, where are y'all? And what are you thinking? Got them nervous.
Black Americans are beginning to use racism in the same way that Zionists use anti-Semitism, right? You have minority groups, in the same way a minority group, the Jewish community, weaponized anti-Semitism to push supremacist talking points to the detriment of other people. You have the Black American community pushing supremacist talking points to the detriment of everybody who's not Black American. So I say this. I'm treating it like white supremacist talking points. I'm treating it like Zionism. Just because you're a minority doesn't mean that that shit's okay. And so I'm treating the FBAs and people who push that shit accordingly. If we're your enemy, you're my enemy. You're our enemy. And I encourage the immigrant, African, Caribbean, Palestinian, Arab, etc. community to do the same. I think the FBA movement in 2025 is Zionism in the 1920s or Nazism in the 1930s. I'm sure lots of people in the 1920s, in response to seeing Zionism or hearing about it, thought it was just a pipe dream or wishful thinking from that community. But fast forward 100 years and look at how much damage it's caused. Or say the Nazi ideology in the 1930s. I'm sure people thought of the H-man as crazy and read Mein Kampf and was like, oh, this is insane. He'll never get power. What could happen of this? And then fast forward 10, 20 years and it caused untold damage to those communities. So I don't want to wait for the FBA movement to become damaging or physically harming people, because by then it's too late.
Black Americans, a lot has been unfolding in the variable of the United States of America, the land that you built and paved the way for other people to come over here and benefit. We have discovered Africa's plans to hijack Black American reparations, to co-opt everything you have done in the United States of America, including Essence Fest, and change the narrative of your Black American culture. Africa has been begging you to come home to build up Africa when they send their progeny over here in droves to destiny swap. Black immigrants have been frustrated now that the 14th Amendment and birthright citizenship has been revoked. So now they have reduced you to an immigrant because they want to benefit from you. They can only do that when you're looked at as the same. Black immigrants come over here to the United States of America. Black Americans paved the way for you. Immigration Act of 1965. So Black Americans can never be xenophobic because we opened the door for you. And you come over here and you get immigrant benefits with your immigrant status. And you say you're Black American and African American and take out benefits meant for Black Americans. And you lock Black Americans out. You get in positions of power, political power, and you undermine Black Americans' reparations. You get in places of power when you can hire Black Americans and you lock them out. You want to co-opt Juneteenth, an event that's meant specifically for Black Americans. You want to invade Black American spaces. Black Americans, you have been oppressed for hundreds of years, and you've been over here pre-slavery. And this immigrant before me says that if you want to be his enemy or foe, then that's what it's going to be. You could never in a million years be a foe of Black Americans, because Black Americans are living in the variable that they created. You don't have the muscle or the magic to be a foe. You don't have the spiritual power to be a foe of Black Americans in the land they built, because the United States of America is our altar. Our ancestral bones are buried all across these lands and scattered. This is our altar. All we have to do is tell them to stand with us. You don't have that power over here. You want to know why? Because you abandoned your destiny in the land that your ancestors built. And that's why you want to come over here and think you can destiny swap with black Americans. You abandon your destiny and you abandon your culture as soon as you want to merge identities. And you're frightened of delineation. You want to be us and you want to cosplay. And that's not the way it's going to be. Do you understand? Nature recognizes us over here because we are fruits of the land. We grew out of the soil. We bled into the soil. We cried into the soil. You did not. Your ancestors did not. The trees, the moon, the sun, the birds, the insects, everything, water, the rocks, recognizes us as the heirs to the land, not you. You have no ancestral power over here, so you can never be a foe or an enemy of black Americans. That's rubbish. Absolute rubbish. But black Americans, I just wanted to have this receipt on my page because in weeks to come, in months to come, in years to come, when things start happening, you understand why. What did he call you? What did he compare you to? Did he compare you to what I think he compared you to? Well, let's see. Actually, I stand corrected. The ancestors have given me clarity. You can be our foe because we must see who undermines us. And historically, the people that will undermine you the most are the people that look like you black Americans. We know this. But however, we cannot be your foe because you simply don't have the power to go against us. You see, it's divine alignment. And when I say us, I mean us, our ancestors. You are not like us. That's what the song was about, not like us. Goodbye.
Alright, so I've been thinking about this African Union shit, and we need to do two things. We need to get a class action lawsuit started against them and a petition going. Well, let me say that. The petition first and then the class action lawsuit. All right, where we have them going simultaneously. All right, I know we got paralegals, lawyers, and other things within our community. I'm not sure exactly who, but let's get this shit cracking. And we don't need to be a lawyer or paralegal or anything of that. As long as we have the knowledge and information, we can get this shit going ourselves. All right, which we do. So I ain't really waiting for these motherfuckers to do it. It's another distraction, to be honest. They can't really do nothing but just for the fuck of it and to get this shit on the table, to get this shit known internationally where we stand. Let's get this shit cracking. You feel me? Because we ain't them and we gonna make it known. Since y'all wanna play, let's get it going. You feel me? But yeah.
How is it that the country that sold us, right? This is literally documented. How is it that the countries, okay, that sold us are now demanding that the United States, okay, who enslaved us, pay them reparations for us? Okay, I know you guys have seen this making the rounds, and I've been really like hesitant to talk about it or whatever, but to be honest with you, it's time to be real, okay, or whatever. Black Americans, okay, diasporic Black Americans, okay, who are descendants of chattel slavery are not property of the continent of Africa or any of the countries or tribal governments that it represents. So for them to participate in our sale, kidnapping, okay, and then to be replanted in another country, never assist us in establishing our own economics or our own type of individuality or solidarity once we were freed or whatever, to now demand reparations for us that will contribute to Africa. Let's be clear. Go and look up the mission statement for the African Union or whatever. They have included Black Americans, okay, descendants of chattel slavery, as their 6th district. You know what's funny? African Americans didn't know anything about this. We didn't know anything about this forced repatriation. As a matter of fact, African representatives have been meeting with the Democratic Party to discuss this and lay the groundwork for not only for them to take our reparations, but for those reparations to contribute to Africa, not to the Black American families who actually paid the price in body and spirit. I don't know what y'all thought. Okay, you know what it is? I do know what y'all thought. One, destiny swapping is real. And two, or whatever, the reason y'all put a fucking Nigerian American, okay, in charge of our branch chapter is because y'all wanted to keep that shit secret. I need y'all to know. Black Americans over here not gonna tolerate that shit. Shit ain't sweet. Shit ain't sweet. If anybody is discussing reparations for us, it should be us. Second of all, reparations for the injured party should go to the injured party, not to the continent that assisted in our injury.
Exactly. That's how I know they're all liars, they're all bullshitters, and they're all disingenuous, because they don't never do this with the fucking Caribbeans. They don't never make these comparisons with the fucking Afro-South Americans and shit like that. Never. They always say, oh, we all came on the same boats and the same ships. It was just a boat stop difference. Then why are they always hounding Black Americans? Always making comparisons to Black Americans. They never do this shit with the fucking Jamaicans or the Haitians, the fucking Puerto Ricans, the Cubans, fucking Trinidadians, Panamanians. They don't never do this shit with nobody else except us. And I wonder why that is. I wonder why.
Watch this video, and I'll be right back.
I was on location, and they brought us to a plantation. I didn't know how I was going to feel when I saw it, because I actually never saw one before. But we pulled up, and I noticed the beautiful trees. And I noticed, as we got closer, this beautiful white building. And there were people walking all around and taking pictures and sitting on the porch in a rocking chair, sipping lemonade. So pretty. They make these places into bed and breakfasts that people come from around the world to stay in. They offered me the slave quarters. Oh, it's remodeled. It's beautiful. I bet you wouldn't be going to no bed and breakfast at Auschwitz.
Y'all heard about Africa seeking reparations for the slaves that they sold into slavery? Black America, they're coming after our reparations. Y'all ever wonder how we are able to contribute as a race over $1 trillion a year into this economy? And now they're coming after the reparations we never received. I really feel like this is a plan or a plot or a ploy to convince us to go to Africa, a place that never accepted us. They don't like us there. They don't care about us. They care about taking. And what better way to take from somebody that look like you, that don't know, well, they feel like we don't know our history or our culture, but we were here already.
All right, y'all. So yesterday we found out that Black Americans are a part of the 6th region of the African Union without us knowing this. And it's quite interesting because Haiti wanted to actually be a part of the African Union, but they rejected Haiti's application. Okay. But somehow we ended up in some shit, and majority of us had no idea that we were even a part of this. Now, on the post when we previously wrote this out and talked about it, many of y'all asked, okay, so what the hell is this? We all figured out we did not know. I knew what the African Union was. I didn't know we were a part of it. And we started breaking down and figuring out the agenda, right? What is their agenda? What is it they want? What is it that they're trying to achieve? I assure you, it's absolutely nothing that has to do with really America or Black Americans as a group. But let me go ahead and show you what I found. So this is African Union, the Diaspora Division. The Diaspora Division serves as the focal point and hub for implementing the African Union decision to invite and encourage the African diaspora to participate in the building and development of the African continent. Its main task, therefore, is to serve as a catalyst for rebuilding the global African family in the service of the development and integration agenda of the continent. Are y'all peeping and clocking that language they're using? Are y'all clocking that? Its main task, therefore, is to serve as a catalyst for the rebuilding the global African family in the service of the development and integration agenda of the continent. This division is under the Directorate Office of the Department and takes directives and instructions from the Directorate Office. Okay. The main constituents of the Diaspora Division are the African diaspora. The African Union defines the African diaspora as consisting of people of African origin living outside the continent, irrespective of their citizenship and nationality, and who are willing to contribute to the development of the continent and the building of the African Union. Its constitutive act declares that it shall invite and encourage the full participation of the African diaspora as an important part of our continent in the building of the African Union. Within this context, the Diaspora Division serves as the counterpart of the Civil Society Division for the diaspora. As such, it carries out responsibilities that its counterpart performs for civil society for the African diaspora. Core responsibilities of the division: mainstreaming diaspora participation in the African Union agenda across departments, partnership frameworks, and the wide range of policy activity, including the flagship Agenda 2063. Now go check the video from yesterday, y'all, where I showed y'all how they are in American government already trying to tackle this policy activity in American government and Congress. Okay. It's a lot of U.S. to Africa building programs. They're trying to launch a African youth leader exchange program, all kinds of stuff, y'all. Strengthening the operational capacity of the African Union to support diaspora involvement in AU activities through regular communication and flow of information on AU events and activities, and vice versa. Cross-fertilization of AU program with diaspora activities and mapping of African diaspora around the world. How does the diaspora not know? I think the only diaspora who really knew about this stuff, y'all, was people who are from the African continent, right? The people who immigrated to these different places and their kids, I think, are the only people who really knew solidly that this was taking place. And I find it interesting because I thought that diaspora was like the descendants of the transatlantic slave trade, but apparently it's not, y'all. It includes just people who live off of that. So are we even considered a part of their diaspora, y'all, by their definition of it? Because I don't think so. I don't think we even a part of but they're using African Americans. So it's quite weird because they're using African American, but I wouldn't consider ourselves to be a part of their diaspora. Serving as focal point for accreditation of diaspora organizations and networks as observers, delegates, and participants at AU Summit and other meetings. managing and coordinating other forms of interaction between the AU and diaspora organizations worldwide. This includes collaboration on policy, which we clock, and advocacy efforts of diaspora networks and coalitions, technical support and assistance, enabling framework of cooperation and working relations, enabling participation of diaspora and CSO, pre-summit forums, and promoting effective collaboration between diaspora civil society, organization, and approximate bodies on the continent. Promoting of effective linkages between the diaspora and various organs of the Union, including ECOSOCC, PCS, and Pan-African Parliament. Who is Pan-African Parliament is getting on my nerves, among others. Interfacing the African diaspora with the work of different departments of the AU Commission and their programs and efforts. The program of activities are, however, adapted to the context in which the program for diaspora participation in AU activities of the diaspora division developed within the context of the protocol on the amendment to the Constitutive Act of 2003. Okay. And acting head of a division is, of course, not a Black American person. All right. Also, you're going to start seeing a lot of this here. Agenda 2063, the Africa we want. This is also, I found this in place in American government too, when Biden was meeting with the AU. And they were talking about this. So this all started, who actually started rolling this whole thing out actually was Obama. I tracked it all the way back to Obama. It started with Obama. Okay. Then Trump put in a little bit on it in his first presidency. Biden put in on it as well and like really kind of kicked it off. And now we're here. Now we're here, y'all. Okay. And so this is so you can see a little bit about the Agenda 2063. Basically, they're talking about going into African Renaissance, which is good for them. We just need them to stop claiming our shit, though, and all that. So they're trying to get to their place of being a global dominant player in the world by uniting all the countries of Africa into 54 states, and then having us as the 55th state, the diaspora. And yeah. Okay, CARICOM has already come in on this. African Union signed MOU for closer cooperation. So that's for the Caribbean nations to know that they are a part of this now, except Haiti, apparently. And this shows them so that they can see exactly when this happened, because they are diaspora too. And they're already getting grants and stuff rolled out from American funding to rebuild Africa. So you check this out and pay attention to this as well. Enhancing U.S.-Africa ties through trade and investment for economic growth. The U.S. Lord, I'm getting tongue-tied. The U.S. mission to the African Union. You're going to see a lot of that. The U.S. mission to the African Union. A lot of stuff is under just that right there. And again, it shows it to you right here. They officially recognized the diaspora as a sixth region in 2003, y'all. 2003. Which is quite interesting. They've been having a lot of movement in June. I found so much stuff connected to June 2025. And I find it fascinating because these people treat us like absolute dirt. Like we are treated the worst. And I don't know why anybody thought that we would want to participate in this at this point in time. But y'all let me know what y'all think. Okay. But yeah, your girl went digging to figure all this shit out. And I'm still finding out some more shit. But like I said, they're getting grants and all kinds of stuff, funding from our U.S. government, to rebuild Africa, but we can't get our tax dollars to rebuild our freaking neighborhoods. Okay.
Crazy work. You sell us and then try to steal our fucking reparations? Get the fuck out of here. You bastards don't deserve any fucking thing. Not one fucking penny. That's coming all to Black Americans. Fuck all the way to fuck off. And I pray that we start this class action lawsuit against y'all so that y'all can't get shit because you deserve absolutely nothing. No, I'm not just saying that because y'all come over here and treat Black Americans like y'all better than us when you're not. You're coming from dirt poor bullshit. You're coming over here copying our style, our language, our clothing.
our rhythm, our bass, our blues. Y'all copying all our shit. We're not copying your shit because we don't fucking care. Because, like we've been trying to say, we are not the same. We really aren't. Just because y'all sold our people, y'all wasn't selling the people who was y'all people. No. Prisoners of war. Meaning y'all sold completely different people. And yes, there was still people here in America. Don't get it twisted. Like I said, I have two fucking parents. One half was slaves and one half was American Indians. So if you come in my comments with that bullshit, fuck off. That's just me warning you now. Like I said before, Africans deserve fucking nothing. You don't deserve our reparations. You don't even deserve to interact with Black Americans anymore from the way that y'all been treating us and acting towards us. So fuck you and fuck off. But hey, if you enjoyed the video, go ahead and drop a like and subscribe because every little bit helps. And we thank you guys so much over here at Azra Reacts. But I've been your boy Azra. This has been another episode of Azra Reacts. I'll check you guys next time. Deuces.